The first guest we have in this afternoon session is Jan Fedinger. He is this kind of there was this funny marking that where are you from? There was this kind of a EU, which is more telling that he is this kind of defining himself like this kind of a multinational person. Jan is a visual artist and designer that works across various media while using light as prime medium of expression. His oeuvre compromises lighting design, lighting installations, photography, drawings, and furniture. And what is interesting thinking about this international link to VAS, that Jan has graduated from VAS a few years back. So he's that I know he's kind of a first kind of like a foreign person who has gone through this program. So and now he is currently working around Europe, based in Netherlands, but moving around in the Benelux countries quite a lot. And recently he was in Madrid making production there. Yes, please welcome. You can tell more about what is going on. So give him a hand, please.
Moikka. My name is Jan Fedinger, as you just heard. I am a visual designer. I found this term most fitting to what I do, although it is not used a lot. When I call myself a set designer or a scenographer, people ask afterwards, how was the set? Cool. And who designed the lights? When I call myself a lighting designer, people ask before, why do you care how your lights are looking in the light grid? You are designing the light, not the lights. Only a few weeks ago, an old friend felt the need to introduce me. He is a lighting designer that is interested in scenography. Like, he is a painter that is interested in the canvas he's painting on. Well, when I call myself an artist, well, don't get me started about the reactions I get when I call myself an artist. Another day, I met someone that started to call himself a theater cinematographer. This morning, I read somebody calling himself a scenic artist. That's not bad. But well, I guess these are only names and titles for these little booklets you get next to the coffee machine or when you enter the theater. Anyways, Tommi Humalisto asked me to present something here about light and to present myself to you. Well, here I am. I'm present. I was present here before when I was a student, just like you are now. Only that was in the past, in a previous present. We will talk about the past. But now we are in this present. Now I don't live here anymore. I live somewhere else. although today I'm present. One could even say re-present. What do I represent to you? How do you represent light in this presentation? Well, this reminds me on earlier presentations I was holding here while being a student. Well, technically not here, but over the street. So maybe this is a representation. Theater somehow is a field of representation, isn't it? Representing ideas, dreams, plans to change the world. If this is a representation, then maybe because I am representing a someone presenting in this presentation, where you are present with me. And you? What do you represent? Somebody once told me that there's a word for people like you. And that word is audience. An audience likes to sit in the dark and watch. Well, if you've paid your money, good luck to you.
There's a word for people like you. And that word is audience. An audience likes to sit in the dark and to watch other people do it. Well, if you've paid your money, good luck to you.
This is Richard Loden of Forced Entertainment. He's a visual designer too. In fact, he's the visual designer of this show.
From this end of the telescope, things are somewhat different. You all look very small and very far away, and there's a lot of you. It's important perhaps to remember that there are more of you than there are of us. So if it does come to a fight, you will undoubtedly win. Hopefully that won't be necessary.
Well, luckily you are with more than I am, because otherwise you could hardly call this a presentation. You would probably call this a conversation, but this is not a conversation. Because I wrote it all up before, you see. Just a few weeks ago, while I was sitting in this cafe in Madrid, Spain, only hours before the very first presentation of this project I was working on that very moment. No, this is not a conversation. We are not there yet. we will get to that later. I hope. Now we are still in the presentation with this fancy title, Performing Lights in Performing Arts. You might ask by now, performing arts? He surely means presentational arts. I surely would. But today's art market has agreed that it sounds much better to call it performance. Imagine this. Tonight, live at the Centro Dramático Nacional Teatre Valle-Inclán, Madrid, Spain, Aitana Cordero presents us with her new presentation, La Casa. Would you go? No. If it's a presentation, it's probably not yet finished. It's probably like a showing. It's probably like a work in progress. Again, only names and titles, I guess, to prepare for a disliking of the audience. Even though I think that sometimes it's not bad to make something the audience does not like. Even though we all want to be liked. I guess. Well, performance. Sounds much better, right? The sound of achievement hovers all over this. How was your last performance? Did you perform well? Yes, I did. I pressed all the right buttons at the exact right moment. Except for this one, because I got a bit bored with the other performers and then my mind had wandered off. Like mine does that sometimes. Yours too? You watch something and suddenly, whoosh, you start staring, dreaming with your eyes open into the abyss of an eternal truth. The mind wanders. One could say, I'm a wanderer. Not like the song, no, rather like the painting. A wanderer above a sea of fog. Who is performing in this painting? The painter performed his skill of painting to leave us with this image. The light coming somehow from there is performing illumination of the scene in this image. The wanderer is performing the role of the wanderer in this painting. No, this is not me. Although I perform a lot too.
Hold on the ball before she starts a rolling. Hold on the ball and hold to me way. Well, all from down the way on the wild Missouri.
I liked it crying. I was just about to cry.
But these slides is like a wedding.
Sorry, it's kind of what?
Touch crematories.
Oh, okay. Don't leave my skin. It's not bad. The light's not bad?
It's not bad at all.
Michele
It's
is
staged, it's okay.
Yeah, sometimes like this. I was playing the smoke machine in the band thing. You might have missed me. But more often, I'm outside the stage. I guess I don't have the looks. Maybe because I don't dress like I would belong on the stage of a contemporary post-dramatic theater / performance / dance production, presentation. Excuse me, performance. Yes, I dance too. I wanted to show you a video of that, but I did not get that in time. All those videos, they're somewhere in a storage because they are old. They are not from this present. They are from a previous present. This was actually even before that. I am not the man. That is Rolf Borsig. He was a visual designer too. In fact, he was the visual designer of this show. Well, that was a present then, though now we are in this present, in this presentation. Oh wait, in this performance. I think we've established that by now. Sounds much better. Performing lights. Well, what defines a performer? I asked some people, professional performers. I like this one. Or this one. Actually, I wrote this one by myself to get the dramaturgy of this talk going to the next point. Because this is theater. And in the end, no matter all the contemporary transparency, I am still influencing what you see. Because I'm aware of how you see that. I studied that here and somewhere else. See this image? You read this from like left to right, just like the page of a book. And then you can see if there's like a golden cut in there, or divided differently by the golden cut. See, there's another one. Yet another one. The golden ratio, measurable beauty, a formula for beauty. Somebody actually asked me once, what is it they're going to teach you there in a master study in Helsinki, in Finland? How to make something beautiful? Well, when I was a student here, there was no beauty course teaching how to create eternal beauty, teaching how to create universal beauty. Do you have that now? Well, I guess that's why I still don't know how to make something eternally beautiful, worth hanging in the Louvre. And what actually is beauty? But I am influencing what you see. Because I control the lights, see? From here, on, off. Without the lights, this presentation, excuse me, this performance would be probably highly imaginative. But well, you would not really see anything? No, the light cannot be too audacious. There's still a primary function to light. Illumination. The audience, you, still want to see me presenting, performing, and not this little light bulb there dancing. This is actually a solo I once wrote for a performance of light bulbs. I called this solo New Noise. Cool name, right? Full of prospects for a future of light in art. Full of prospects for a future of light as art. For an emancipation of light as art in theater. For an emancipation of light as art among multiple disciplines of theater, just like noise has emancipated from the rest of music. Light, emancipate yourself, create some noise, create some new noise. Anyways, the light cannot be too audacious, because very often the audience, no, not you, the other audience, like this audience in Madrid, Spain, they did not came to the theater to see my light bulb dancing. No, they came to the theater to watch this new presentation. Oh, excuse me. They came to the theater to see the new performance, La Casa of Aitana Codero, live at the Centro Dramático Nacional, Teatro Valle Inclán, Madrid, Spain. Do you remember? But then again, the choreographer of this very performance made quite an effort to bring me to Madrid, Spain, to be present with her, to be a part of this project, to have me in Madrid sharing a stage with these 4 performers. If she just wanted an illuminated stage, she could have asked the local technicians. Probably it would have looked like this, you know, like, or like this. I mean this. So then the space, oh wait. This, then the space in it, insert, Apple C, Apple V. Actually, I learned how to make this here. Classical lighting, Robert Shakespeare. 6 study credits. Anyone? But then again, a plot like this would be probably too dramatic. And as I mentioned here before, this is contemporary post-dramatic theater / performance / dance. Post the drama. That means after the drama. With a plot like this, the choreographer would probably say, sure, this looks extremely beautiful. You are extremely skilled. I can see your education. But this is too theatrical. But we are in a theater here, right? I mean, it says so in the front of the building. Yes, we are. But this is a presentation, this is a performance of contemporary post-dramatic theater / dance / performance. We are looking for transparency in representation. Transparency. Well, why design? If you want transparency, we could do with some working lights, you know? I don't know. Even though this could be an easy solution, though it's not very atmospheric. 2 weeks rehearsing in Amsterdam, 5 weeks rehearsing in Madrid to come up with nothing more than this? At least not a very stressful process, I imagine. Lots of free time to write presentations. It's also great shopping in Madrid. Actually, I bought these shoes there. See them? You like them? I think they make me look more like a designer, less like a technician. Become a lighting designer. You get paid to do shopping trips all over Europe and beyond. But I think we've been drifting off now. We were talking about performing light in performing arts. We were talking about transparency in representation. We were talking about most audience in Madrid that did not came to see my light bulb flashing. But still, after almost 3 hours of watching, one of the main issues they are talking about is the light. And this fade out halfway through the performance. They're talking about the light not because a lack of other experiences. Believe me, the other performers gave them quite something to talk about. No, they're talking about the light because the light has been an experience. When they explain this to their friends, they're not saying, and then there's these 4 guys, and they're destroying like this pile of, I don't know, trash, you know. And then I think the light went off, you know, for a while. No, they're saying, and then these 4 guys, they're destroying this house that they've just carefully constructed, and out of a sudden, without any warning, the light disappears. It creeps away. It's like a solid brick wall of darkness that hits you with 100 miles an hour, creating a memory that will haunt you for the near future. It's like the end of the world. See the difference? The light was present. The light was performing. The audience felt a presence of light, and not because they got annoyed by the light. The light attracted the attention of the audience. The light was not just in favor of the performance, illuminating the stage. The light's role was not to decorate the stage, but the light provoked an immediate reaction. Its presence, its conscious presence communicated with the audience. The light became something corporal, a body that is present with the other corporal performers. It is a body whose action adds to the overall perception of the performance. It is my body, or a transgression of my body. I am performing through my surrogate body of light. It is almost virtual reality, one of these many futures that have become a present.
Thank you very much, Jan. Now, as you wished, are there some questions to Jan?
Well, I can say something. Actually, I really enjoyed that when you said the name of your piece called New Noise, I immediately knew that you were going to use Refused on your presentation, and I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Works in Nordic countries. I don't bite. Kiitos.
I could ask about because you pointed out quite nicely the meaning of even the how static like the presence of the light, and I see that you're also talking about somehow the materiality of the light and how it's connected to the meanings. Mm-hmm. And your simple example how actually that there is a static situation, even though it looks like you need only like working light and everything is visible, but it reaches the meaning level in the very moment that it is fading out. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of understand what has happened in a way, that it gets the meaning afterwards in a way. Mm-hmm. Because it's like the meaning is loaded when it's somehow going away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean actually this is like leading also since it is a transition in this. I mean in this piece there's like a whole scene after this which is totally in the dark for a while. So it's also like the idea of this was also to accompany the audience into this next state, but also to make them aware of the presence of light, basically.
Additionally, I'm a little bit curious, like how often are you facing this kind of a conversation or or attitude or remarks of that that you were referring in your talk that light is too theatrical.
I have to say more than you might imagine. The thing is, like, before I came here, I studied in a school in Amsterdam, which one of the sister educations is called the School for New Dance Development, and I ended up working a lot with these people, and which formed me also in a way. And you don't believe how many times I heard this term, and not only referring to myself, but also like that people come to me saying, well, we tried with this guy, but it's just like, they're just like, we present them with a set, and then they're putting some lights on this, and then they really want to show what they can do, and I mean, of course, it looks beautiful, but it doesn't add anything to the performance. And most, very often, I mean, people even ask me like to come in and design something like working lights. A very good friend of mine, Minna Tikainen, came once to me saying, she actually was devastated. She came to me crying, this week I designed the 8 general lights within 2 years. So maybe I'm a general lighting designer now. But the point I'm trying to make is more that there is not necessarily an understanding between various disciplines. Like, I mean, for example, a discipline like light, there's like very many aspects or very many directions you could get into. I mean, there's people that get more interested into more the rock and roll side and concerts and like flashing lights, where there's also a very different kind of performance of light and also very obvious performance of light. Then other people work more in theater, in drama, where the light, where I heard a lot of times, as a lighting designer, you've done a good job if nobody talks about the light, and if they don't mention you, then it means that you did the right thing. And from the beginning on, I was always very like suspicious about this, or also curious somehow, because I am part of making this performance, and a performance is not necessarily, even though it has the author's name of a choreographer or of a director, there's still a lot of people making this performance. So I wanted to perform myself, and I wanted to be not only to be credited for being a performer, but I wanted to make this performance with all the other performance. I wanted to dance, but then I don't dance so well, so I needed to find a different way of becoming a body, and being present with the other performers.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions, notions?
I'd just like to ask, do you currently live in Holland or
Yes.
in Madrid? Okay.
Oh no, I live in the Netherlands, but
Okay,
this
so
was a project in...
Do you often do projects in Madrid?
Not in Madrid, but I don't do a lot of projects in Holland. Like, I live there, but I don't work there so much.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Other questions? Okay, if not, so we thank Jan